Hey everyone, it's Ollie Lindley here from One Number, and today we're going to take a look at how to build a homepage for your dashboard and how to add some navigation elements into your dashboard. So here's what we're going to look at. This is just a super simple business overview dashboard. You can see I've got 3 dashboards kind of hooked up here. And if this is the homepage, right, the page that you land on, you can navigate super simply to the other dashboards without needing to click through these tabs at the bottom, not such a nice experience. You can just click on the sales overview dashboard and it whips you over here. You can see we've got a little drop-down menu to navigate you on to another dashboard. I haven't put any menus on that one. Or to the product one. We can go back to the home page and choose a new dashboard from there. We can also click this little home button at the top right and it whips us back to the home page. So I think this is a really nice user experience when you're interacting with the dashboard. So I'll walk you through how to build all of this. Of course, this is pretty bare bones. This is just for the sake of demonstration. You can definitely make this look much nicer. But for the sake of today's video, if you want to follow along, why not download the dashboard that's on my Tableau public? The link is in the description below, so you can just do that. But if you are following along with your own dashboard, hopefully this is clear enough so that you don't need to be referring back to my dashboard every time. You can just follow along in the video. Okay, so that's where we're going. I think the best place to start is going to be with this sort of like homepage dashboard. So if you're building along, fire up a new blank dashboard and let's start building from here. Okay, so I'm going to drag in a vertical container. Why? A vertical container is needed because you'll notice we actually have 2 containers kind of sitting side by side here. We've got this vertical container that contains the icons, and then we've got another container that has all the titles or descriptions, whatever it might be. So that's why I'm just going to drag in that vertical container, and then let's put in our navigation buttons. You can just drag in 3. We're not going to direct them just yet. We're just going to make sure we've got, just got to make sure that we've actually got them in the page. And then let's drop in another vertical container to the right of that container. Okay, there we go. So we've got 2 side by side, and I'm just going to drag in 2, let's put in our text object to do the dashboard titles. So I'm just going to call this sales overview, and I'm going to edit this font a little bit. So Tableau medium, I don't know, maybe we need semi-bold or something. And nice and visible, definitely. We can always edit this as we go along. Let's pop in some text again. I'm going to call this, what is the next one? Customer count. This would have been easier if I just copied it the first time, I think, because now I'm running into all kinds of problems because I can't remember what I did. But that looks good. And then the last text object, I'm just going to copy and paste that and put in product details. Okay, so that's what it looks like so far. It's really not too pretty. So the first thing that we're going to do is not worry about the formatting just yet. We're going to sort it out. So, okay, we've got our navigation buttons in. Now, the cool thing about a navigation button is we could set it up as text or an image. And so I'm going to give us 2 options here. For the sake of this video, we're going to deal with an image. But I'll talk you through another option just after we've done that. So first, to open up this menu, I just double clicked on the navigation button. And this menu is super simple. It's pretty self-explanatory to walk through. I'm just going to say, cool, I want to navigate to the sales overview page. That's the first one. I want an image, right? Because I want to choose, we can't navigate while the thing's open. I want to choose the actual image. I want a nice little something to click on. So here's what I suggest. There is a website that I use, not Loom, called Flat Icon. You can open up a free account and it's got an amazing collection of icons that you can use for all your projects. So fire that up. Click on interface icons for our purpose. They're super simple, and we're going to need to download a couple. So for the sales one, we can search. You can search for sales. But if none of those really match what you're looking for, just search around what something that might work. So if we just search for money, that probably works just fine, So here's what I would do now. I could click on that icon and click PNG. It downloads. And if I go back here, right, this is back into Tableau, an image, choose an image, and I click choose, you'll notice here's my sack of dollars.png. And here I can just enter a tooltip, navigate to the sales overview page. That's super simple. You could say something like, click here to understand more about our sales this year, whatever it might be, something that's helpful for your end user. And when I click OK, we get a massive icon that pulls through here. So I'm just going to repeat this process for the other two buttons, right? Navigate to the next one is custom account. I've already downloaded some more icons, so I'm just going to choose the ones that I've downloaded for the sake of time. There we go. And the last one is product details. Okay, an image button, and choose the open box. Okay, great, we're getting there. Now, the one thing that I said I would come back to is currently I've set up this dashboard so that only the buttons navigate to other pages, right? So if we go into presentation mode again, and I click on custom account, that gets me to the custom account page. But if I click on the text, it doesn't take me anywhere. You might want to use the text to navigate to, in which case you could just change these text objects to navigation buttons, right? So you could just drag in another button in here in place of one of these. We could change to text. We could make this sales overview. We could pop that in, sales overview. Let's remember, Tableau semi-bold, 16, something like that. No background. Font is correct, no border, let's apply that. So do you see how that's basically exactly the same as what we were doing? That does work. The reason why I don't use this one too much is because it defaults to center aligned. So it's not ideal for what I would want to do, but that's totally fine. If you did do this, you could click on either the text or the button to send you either way. Okay, so just flagging that. Okay, so what do we need to do now? I think the best thing to do next is going to be to click on each container. So in this case, we could click on the first button and then just double click at the tab on the top, and you'll see that it turns from gray to blue like that. Hit the drop down and then say distribute contents evenly. It's going to make a small change here, but on this, where our text is going to make a big change. So when I say distribute contents evenly, it just makes sure that everything's spaced perfectly in that container. And now we just size things. So I would just drag in some blank objects. So let's drag this right to the top. Let's drag a blank object at the bottom like that, drop that in. And then I want to be able to also edit the width. So I'm just going to drop blank objects on either side of these containers like that. There's one, and let's do a second. Okay, so now we've got quite a lot of control over how this works, right? Just using these little containers, we can make sure that we get the icons to be the right height and width. I don't want them to be too big, right? But I don't want them to be too small. And now I think it's just time to drop in a text object to be the title of the dashboard. So let's drag text in here, and we can call this, what did I call our last one? Business overview dashboard or something, whatever you like. Nice and big, Tableau semi-bold. We can choose a cool color. I'm just going to choose this one that I got. And let's make this center aligned. Okay. That works. Some other recommendations for a homepage. I mean, we're not going to go much further than this just in terms of formatting. I would certainly say you could throw a business logo in here, base the colors off the colors in your logo or your business colors. You could put a description down below or up at the top. You can add in, some images, whatever it might be. When you're setting up your homepage of a dashboard, think website. What does the homepage of a website look like? How can I recreate that? So although this is super, super simple, it just functions as a landing page. You can really spruce it up, make it really, really eye-catching. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is let's build this little homepage button over here. So we've already got that in Sales Overview. So I'm just going to navigate over to Custom Account. And I'm going to drag in a navigation button to the top right. Now you'll notice in this case, when there's a lot of action going on, at the top of your dashboard, sometimes Tableau struggles to work out exactly where you're going to drag and drop that home button. So here I'm just going to drag down my title and I'm going to drop in this button to the right of the title, and that should be fine. Okay, we're still not having much success. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop in a horizontal container at the top. I'm going to drop this title into the container and then the navigation button to the right of the title. There we go. Okay, so always a little bit of a workaround, but we got there in the end. Let's resize things so that the button goes that way. Let's do this. Okay, and now we're just editing the button. So double click on the button, image, let's navigate to homepage. Now, like I said, I've already got a homepage button, but you can find one in Flat Icon. Great website. Okay, let's hit home. That'll take us there. You can always enter a tooltip. You can do a background, a border, whatever it might be. Let's hit okay. To me, that looks a little bit big, so I'm just going to drag it down like that. Something. Yeah, so it's not too domineering. And then let's go test that out. So presentation mode, if I click there we go. Beautiful. So that's working. That's already another layer, of customizability, of flow in our dashboard, which is great. Now, the last thing that we're going to build is this little hamburger menu, which I really, really like. And I think it adds quite a lot to our dashboards because it means you don't have a whole sort of layer of navigation icons at the top of your dashboard. But before we do that, I just want to say, if this is interesting to you, why not come and join us for one of our classes? If you want to ramp up your Tableau skills, I don't think there's a better place for you to do that than at a one-number Tableau class. We've got classes ranging from complete Tableau beginners all the way up to advanced, to specialized classes where we just look at calculations and Tableau prep and things like that. So why don't you check out those? We'll pop a link. It'll come up now or it'll be down in the description. We'd love to see you there. Okay, let's do this little hamburger menu over here. Now, there's nothing too special about the hamburger menu. In fact, you might have used some of these elements already, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take a vertical container, and I want it to be floating. So I'm going to click floating and drag this vertical container just up to the top like that. Then let's put in our navigation buttons, right? So, oops, these need to be tiled. And I'm going to hold down Shift and drag, oops, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to drag this button in. We've got button 1, button 2, and button 3. So at this point, we're kind of recreating what we did in the home page, right? So there are 3 buttons. We can see this is our, what is this? Our container. And let's drag in a vertical container to the right of these buttons. Can we do that? We're struggling a little bit. Okay, so this sometimes happens. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take out these buttons and I'm going to drop a horizontal container. What am I going to do? What do we have here already? Sorry, I'm trying to find that now. Let's go to layout. Did I delete it? I think I might have. Okay, so let's just start again. Here's what we're going to do. Let's take a horizontal container first and drop that here. Okay, then let's do the navigation buttons. One. Oh my gosh, what is going on today? 1, 2, 3. Now let's try the vertical container to the right. And I worry that we're running into roadblocks here. Oh, this is frustrating. Okay, let's try again. Yep, and delete. It's always a bit of a hack to get that. Let's just refer back to this quickly. Let's get this open. Let's open this out. Yeah, okay. So we've got container 1, container 2. Let's try that. Containers in Tableau, we love them and we hate them. Okay. Horizontal container. Then let's tiled. Vertical container 1. Let's drag it to the right. Vertical container 2. Okay, there we go. We're winning. So we've got a horizontal container and 2 vertical containers. Now let's drop the navigation buttons in the container to the left. Perfect. And we're kind of just recreating what's happened already. Let's take the text. Let's drop that in on the right. And this is going to be, so I wanted this in the right order, right? Sales overview. Okay. Another text object, which is, yeah, customer count. And then the last one is going to be product details. So why am I just copying and pasting? Copying and pasting because it's preserving all the formatting that we did, right? So here's what we need to do now. We need to make sure that these containers are evenly distributed. So double click on the container, hit the bottom, distribute those contents evenly. Okay, nice. Now select the entire container. So how do you do that? Well, I've selected the sales overview text object, double clicked to select the vertical container, double clicked again to get to the horizontal container, and I'm gonna go to layout and I'm just gonna drop in a background here. Let me think if that's actually what I want to do. I was thinking maybe we should put it all one color, but I don't know if that's gonna be so nice. Let's make it white, but what I'm gonna do is select the container that the buttons are in and make that this kind of like off-white, grayish color that we used. I don't know, you can play around with it, see what's effective, but you do want it to stand out a little bit so it doesn't disappear into the dashboard. Okay, and now let's set up these buttons. So double click on the button. We're gonna navigate to sales overview. Oh, this is sales overview. Oh no, that's customer overview. Okay. So this should be home, actually. We're gonna edit those. Home page, image, choose that one. Okay. Then the next one is sales overview, image, choose, what did I use last time? I think this one, I think that dollars. And then the last one is the product details, image, choose, and we're going to the box. Okay, now let's just make sure these are in the right order. Sales overview needs to be here, and customer count, we're gonna change that to home. Okay, and now it's just resizing, right? This just isn't quite right, so let's drag that in. Let's drag this. Oh my gosh. The Tableau. Let's drag that up like this, maybe. Like that. And we just keep resizing until it's correct. Yeah, maybe something like that works. Okay. That's not terrible. And now, if we close that up just a touch, it'll look correct. Beautiful. Okay. The last thing that we need to do is add that little show hide button. Okay, so we're going to double click, make sure that we've selected the container that everything is in, right? We need the entire menu in the container. We're going to hit the drop down and we're going to say add a show or hide button. And now you can just drag this around wherever you want it to be. So I'm just going to pop that top left. And if I hold down the options key, I'm on a Mac. If you're on a Windows, hold down Alt. But if I hold down the options key and click, you see that works just fine. Okay, so let's test this out. So the customer overview is the one we've been working on. Let's click on home. That's home. Let's click on this little hamburger menu. Go to the sales overview. Lovely. Product details. Oh yeah, we didn't hit up product details just yet. Let's close that. Let's go home. And that's our dashboard. So we've got a home page, we've added a menu, a drop-down menu, we've added a home button. And hopefully you can see how navigating around those dashboards is so much easier, right? It feels so much slicker. So hopefully that's been helpful. If you're struggling with anything related to this, this kind of thing, pop those questions or issues down in the comments. We'll be sure to get back to those as soon as possible. And if there are any other videos or topics that you'd like us to cover, just let us know. We love those suggestions and we'd be so happy to get to those. All right. Keep well. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.